Hi everyone, it's Hatsy and I'm back with another video in The Sims 4, and today we are building the interior to the Great Gatsby mansion. So this is going to be quite a long one. It's going to be like, what, 20-25 minutes? My voice is going a little bit, and that is because it's late when I'm recording this. I've worked on this all day. I decided on the weekend that I'd just get this, honestly, over and done with. Because I was dreading this. I was dreading this build so much because I've done it once before and I didn't know what to do. And I have this habit, where I'll get more interested and, more excited about other stuff. And then I'll leave interiors or, hold them off for ages. And that's what happened. I've been really into speed edits and stuff like that recently. And there is actually a speed edit of the build that I created. So that will probably be coming out first before this, just because it's, a shorter video. But yeah, I mean, here it is for all the people wondering. But I do just want to say that if there's ever a time where I don't post something and I leave it a month or 2 months or however long it gets, because life gets in the way and it's very rare that I'll have a whole day that I can just sit and just do a whole interior, because they take up so much time. The thing is, an exterior, I could have built this in what, did I build it in an hour and a half or 2 hours? Something like that. It was really short. But an interior just takes me so long because I want to get it right, because there's really high expectations. And it's it's quite rare that I get that kind of time to do that, because it's a lot. It's a lot of time. But I will get around to it. And, same with my other builds. I don't think I'm missing any now. I think I'm pretty much up to date after this with everything. But yeah. If you are wondering about anything, then please just write it on the video that you're wondering about it on, if that makes sense. For instance, let's say I didn't do the Great Gatsby interior. If a video pops up that I've recently done, I'd really appreciate it if you posted your questions on the Great Gatsby part 1. Because what's been happening is I'll post a new video and then I'm getting loads of disappointed people oh, for goodness sake, I didn't want this. And it's just, it's so disheartening, honestly. It was one of the first comments the other day, and this massively stuck in my head, and it was nobody cares. And I was whoa, nobody cares about the speed edit. Yeah, I mean, I can say that I don't care, and I really don't, but at the back of my mind, I am kind of thinking, does nobody care about the speed edits? Does no one actually care? Is that something? It's terrible. But yeah, so I wanted to make sure that I did it more accurately this time. I did do the whole sort of layout before I started the video. It's gonna get too long otherwise. Honestly, we would have been here for what, an hour? It got long. And I made it so that it was all split levels and stuff. If you want me to do a video about how you make split levels, how you plan an interior layout of a mansion, then I can. But it's got to be in pretty high demand, because I don't want to go back to a massive mansion interior for a long time, at least a few weeks, just because I have a lot of stuff that I want to do. I want to focus on maybe smaller builds, because for some reason as well, people just aren't into big builds at the moment. I don't know what it is. A few months ago, big builds were in and everyone was yeah, big builds. Now it's no. I think machinimas are really in at the moment, a lot of teen stuff, which is annoying because well, I tried to go down that bandwagon and it really didn't work, and I offended a lot of people, but I don't really care, it's fine. It's one of those things, you've got to try new stuff, so that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. And yeah, maybe eventually massive builds will come back in and people will, a lot of people will enjoy them, and there'll be a huge demand for them. But that's that. So this is Jay Gatsby's room in here. Jay Gatsby has a split level room, and I tried to copy it as much as possible. And something that I really liked was there was a picture of a sim on a painting, and it actually looked like Jay Gatsby. I was shocked. I was this is perfect. It's as if they planned it. Honestly, if you look at I think it's Sims 4 Get Together, the gold pictures, the really fancy ones that they're in the museum, is it? Yeah, it's a museum in Windenburg. Von Holt Estate, that's it, sorry. Not a museum. Nearly a museum. Well, that man looks like Jay Gatsby or Leonardo DiCaprio. I love him, so that's good. But yeah, so anyway, I was thinking about what to talk about for this build video, and a lot of stuff's happened recently, and this is perfect to talk about in this build interior just while we're going around the rooms. So the last time I did part 1 of the Great Gatsby mansion, I spoke about rude YouTubers and like going to somewhere in the city, and like I got confronted by some like really rude people. And well, I went to a Halloween party recently, and I'm going to talk about that. So I went to the YouTube Halloween party. So me, Molly and Steph all decided to go together, and what we did is we rented an apartment in the centre of London for one night, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. Like, this apartment was so luxurious. It was so good, but we couldn't figure out how to close the doors, and we kept hurting our fingers. It was awful. So yeah, that happened, but it was lovely. It was really nice. We'll stay there again at some point, I think. It was great. The original plan was that we were going to get the train up and meet, I think it happened on was it Friday? Yeah, I think it was Friday. So we were going to meet for lunch at like 1 or 2 and then go to the party later because it started at like 7 or 8. Yeah, I know. What party starts at 7 or 8? I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing? Playing pass the parcel? I have no idea. But 7 till what, like 11? Yeah, I know. Crazy. So we were going to get the train, and what happened was there was like a big accident on the train lines, which is very unfortunate, and we got like massively delayed. It took us like 4 or 5 hours to get there, but I ended up driving, and I picked Steph up from her house, which is an hour out of London. And oh, this was bad. So I was on the way to Steph's house, and I was like perfectly aware of the time. It was like 3 or 4 at this point. And I was driving. We were supposed to be meeting a lot earlier, and I was already late. I went down this slip road in my car, and my sat nav was like up to date and everything. It was telling me like where to go. Anyway, it paused for a minute, and it told me to go down another slip road, like just after the slip road had already gone down. But it only told me just as I was about to pass it. Yeah, so there I was thinking to myself, okay, do I risk it? Do I like slam my brakes on and then go over the white lines and then go down the slip road? Or do I play it safe, like not get into any danger and just follow it all the way around? So of course I followed it all the way around because there was really no other choice. I wasn't going to put other people in danger just because my turning was about to go, and I was just hoping that there'd be another turning. No, there wasn't another turning. I had an hour and a half detour. So it was a nightmare, and the traffic was terrible because of the train lines. Yeah, it was a mess. So anyway, we ended up getting to the party at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Like, this was late because I had to park my car, and then I had to get changed, and then we were rushing, honestly. Like, my face, I was supposed to be a witch, but I went from green to back to my like normal colour. So what happened was I put like a green underlay on my face and then decided I didn't like it. So yeah, then I like slapped my foundation on top of it. So what would happen is like there'd be all these pictures of me at this party, right? And if you got the right angle of me, you could see the green like coming through. It looked like my natural skin was green. It was so embarrassing. So yeah, anyway, talking about rude YouTubers. Okay, this happened. So I had a great time at the party, and I met like a lot of new people there. To be honest, there weren't many YouTubers there. It was like mainly people that did like arty things, like a lot of photographers, a lot of artists, designers, things like that, which I didn't really understand. Like, yeah, like we walked in and I didn't recognize anyone pretty much. Like, I genuinely didn't. And Molly recognised some people, so she was like introducing me to some people, and that's how like I met some friends there, because Molly seems to know absolutely everybody, which is really nice. So later on in the night, what happened was Steph and I were like sat by the cloakroom, and we were like sharing this chair, and it was really cramped at this point because it was coming towards the end and everybody was getting their coats, and we were just like having a chat, and this guy comes up, and he is absolutely smashed. Like, that is the best way to put this. So he comes up and he's like starting a conversation with us, and I think he's like quite a quiet person, but because he's smashed, he wants to talk to us, but he doesn't know what to say. Right, so I'm fine. I'm like, you know, hey, you know, because he's like standing next to us, like joining in. I'm like, yeah, cool, okay, but we don't know his name or anything. So he starts asking like really inappropriate stuff, which was just really weird. Like, he just jumped straight in with, so the first question he asked was, okay, so what do you do? And we were like, oh, we're YouTubers, like we make Sims videos. And he was like, oh yes, you're gaming then. And I said, yeah, we're both gaming channels. And he said, oh right, how many subscribers do you have? Like, how many subscribers do you have? Again, this happened twice now. This is just crazy. I'm sorry, like, it's just like a weird question. I don't like it. I'd never ask someone that. Like, it just feels weird. Like, why? Is that the first thing you're thinking as soon as you meet someone? Like, how much are they worth? Like, how many people like them? What's their popularity factor? I mean, it's just a bit weird. So I just said, like, quite quietly, because I didn't want to like draw attention. I was like, all right, so like 140,000, something like that. And he was like, oh my goodness. And then like he grabbed his friend and he's like pulling people to come and look at me as if I'm some kind of freak show. And I was just like, are you joking? Are you joking? Like, I gave Steph the look and she gave me the look and she was like, this is a bit strange. And it only gets worse from there. So he must have been standing with us for what, about a minute? And this escalated. So then he was saying that he's a gambling channel and he's got like X amount of subscribers. And he was like, oh yeah, so I earn £500 a week doing what I'm doing. How much do you earn? And I was just like, what? So his friend pulls him away before like he can be any more embarrassing. And that's when like Steph and I just had this ongoing joke throughout the night, which was like, I earn £500 a week, goodbye. Because that's pretty much all he said to us. It was like, how many subscribers do you have? How much do you earn? And then he was like, oh, I earn 500 a week, goodbye. It was just, it's like, I don't care how much you earn, I'm sorry. It's just so weird. It's just, oh, it's nasty. I don't like it. The thing is, I think a lot of people think that because YouTube isn't an inverted commas normal job, it's absolutely fine to just like share anything about it, like anything. I get asked some like really weird questions about it. Some people just aren't afraid to just like straight out ask, you know, how much do you earn? Like, how much is this? How much is that? You know, I don't go around asking people how much. I don't like it. I'm so sorry. I hate it. It feels so nasty. I mean, he could have been like a fairly nice person and, you know, he could have just wanted to talk and just not know what to talk about. But I just felt really, afterwards, like, no, don't talk about money. It's horrid. And who cares? Honestly, we're at a party, like having fun. Do we really need to talk about earnings? Do we need to go down that road? I think he'd be bitterly disappointed if he saw my analytics at the moment. He'd be like, okay, goodbye. Because demonetization, it's real. It's a big thing. It's been awful, actually. I've had a few of my my videos demonetized and it's painful. It's horrible, like, to put up a video and then it just gets straight away demonetized. And that happened recently with my Haunted Mansion walkthrough. I don't know what's inappropriate about that, but YouTube deemed it as inappropriate. So I sent them back an email saying, it was something like, why don't you stop demonetizing perfectly good videos or we'll all just move over to Twitch? It was something like that. And anyway, I got a reply a few hours later saying that the email address wasn't registered. I'm just thinking, like, what coward? Seriously, like, I'm sorry, I don't like YouTube at the moment. I know I'm a YouTuber and this is like terrible to probably say, but I don't care. I don't like them. I think it's wrong what they're doing. I think that it's putting people off. For people that are just like starting out, you know, I remember when I was just trying to like break even on YouTube, because I think a lot of people forget like how expensive some of the software is to even do it, like Adobe Premiere Pro, Photoshop, like all that stuff. Some of those people are just making a loss at the moment. And you know, I would go to Twitch, I genuinely would, but number one, I'm terrified of being live and saying something that I'll regret because I'm outspoken and I'm not afraid to say it. And I'm saying that because like I can edit this video. I edit all my videos, but it's one of those things that it worries me, because like if I was on stream and I said something, so maybe Twitch isn't for me right now. Also, internet's a bad thing because my internet's not great, but we'll see. Like maybe I'll do some live streams. I just have to be really careful. I have to just be really careful. Anyway, so going on to the build, a lot of these rooms you'll see are just supposed to be Gatsby inspired. I told the story about when I went to a Gatsby restaurant that wasn't so Gatsby in the first part of it, which is one of my favorites. I love that story. Oh, something really embarrassing happened at this Halloween party though. So I was talking to this person and I didn't realise there was this fiery blowing thing behind me. It was like one of those fake fires, but it's got like air that blows it up, if that makes sense. So anyway, I was standing in front of it, I think, but my hair was going up, like up, vertically upwards, and I didn't realise. And someone took a picture of me and my hair is just like vertically up whilst I'm speaking to this person. And something embarrassing as well, to make things even worse. So Steph had this lipstick and it was a really nice colour and we all borrowed it because like it was so good. And I don't wear a lot of lipstick. I wear like lip liners sometimes, but I don't wear lipstick. Like I need to, but I keep losing them. I think my dogs keep having them, honestly. It's really weird. So we all had it on. And throughout the night, my face was very itchy. So I was just like scratching my face and I saw these pictures of me. Like again, the pictures were going round and my face was just smudged. And I said to Molly and stuff, I said like, why didn't you tell me? I've been walking around like this. I look an absolute mess. And they said, yeah, we just thought it was funny. We didn't tell you. Thanks friends. Yeah, really nice. So I was walking around with like a really smudged face. I looked dreadful. But let me know what you did on Halloween because that's always interesting. I didn't do anything actually on Halloween night. I had a lot of trick-or-treaters to my house, which was nice because I didn't get that in Switzerland or Germany actually. No, the only trick-or-treat I got was my neighbour and she was horrible. She was the worst, no, second worst human being I've ever met. First is Jennifer, second is her, third is a woman that I used to work with. Oh no, third is, hang on, I have loads. I have a hate list. I don't know if I've even mentioned this before. Maybe I'll read it out one video. So I actually started, this is really weird. I'm only mentioning this because I mentioned it in a speed edit. I think it was like my last video that I did of a male sim, like a good looking heartthrob sort of thing. Well, he was inspired off Light Yagami, which was a series or like a book series that I used to read when I was younger, which is like a manga book called Death Note. Well, what a Death Note is and like what the series is basically about, a boy who's very intelligent, he finds this book on the floor which is Death Note and he can write down anyone's name in it and they will just like instantly die. I know it's awful, but what happened was I got a Death Note book for Christmas one time. So I just like wrote my worst enemies' names and I knew that nothing was ever gonna happen, like nothing. But I've had some really bad people in my life, like terrible. And I had a list of about, I think 3. I'd never put Jennifer on the list because she's a relative and it feels strange to, but she is definitely one of the worst human beings I've ever met. But yeah, so this Death Note book, inverted commas, it's more like a hate book. It's just like who I really utterly dislike. But it's justifiable. Like a lot of the people I've had to go to the police about and stuff like that. The man that I spoke about, I think, on my second channel, but then I did take that video down because it was just too depressing. He made the Death Note book. Who else made it? Yeah, woman I used to work with, she was awful. In fact, I'm going to talk about her another time because she's like the new Jennifer. No, in fact, she was the first Jennifer ever. She was like Jennifer the first, and then Jennifer the first was my relative. Okay, but then Jennifer the second is this woman, and she was terrible. The stuff that she used to do, oh my goodness, it was crazy. Yeah, maybe I'll spend like a whole voiceover just talking about her because I think you'll enjoy it. She used to do really evil stuff. So we used to like rent a salon together basically. This was back when I did beauty therapy. And this was like before I became a nanny and all that stuff. So I was only a beauty therapist for 3 months and it was because this woman literally ruined the whole thing for me. She used to frame me for stuff and as soon as I signed the contract to get into the business, she tried to get me out, like get me out. And she would like change the alarms. So she'd know that like I forgot my laptop one night and stuff. So I'd be going back to go and pick it up and like by the time I got back to the salon that I pay the rent for, the alarms would be changed and it would be her. No, I've got some good stories about her, so maybe I will share at some point. Yeah, anyway, going on to the upstairs, well, we're already like on the upstairs, but I wanted to do something with red because I don't usually do that and I could have a bit more freedom with the 3rd floor because no one really cares. So Third floor, there's like lots of bathrooms, lots of bedrooms, things like that. And that's like really how I wanted to keep it. There's a servants' quarters as well. So there's supposed to be like 3 full-time people living here. You could have more if you wanted to. You could have like 20 bedrooms, but what's the point? You know, if your Sims aren't even going to use them, like what's even the point? It doesn't make any sense. Like if we had an expansion where you had like loads of like servants and stuff, then yeah, absolutely I could have done. But no, otherwise I'm not going to spend ages making the same bedroom. And they were supposed to look very similar as well. The whole point is this house is completely for show. And I think it even said in one of the chapters, The Great Gatsby, about the fact that like a lot of the rooms look like a hotel, pretty much. That was how I imagined it. And also in the last build I did, I created Daisy's room from memory. So this room here would be for Daisy. I thought it was like really fitting and I liked it, and it was like pale and cool. So I can't remember if people had separate bedrooms back then. That is something that maybe I'll look up if I get time, maybe not as well. And also, if you are really into artwork and like speed edits that I've been doing recently, I've made a Great Gatsby mansion speed edit, and this is like my first ever build one. So I'm about to voice that now, even though that's probably the video that you'll see first. I've probably mentioned it like right at the start. Please go and support me on there, because that would be exciting. And if you want to see, you know, anything else coming up in the future, let me know. The original plan for this, honestly, was that I was going to do like a bonfire machinima with this build, because it's such a great party place. So I was going to have like loads of fireworks and things like that. But the reason why I'm not doing that is because machinimas are going to take me too long. And also I've got to record a lot of stuff before I get cats and dogs, because I'll be focusing a lot of builds for that. So I've got to like maximize my amount of time and like try and get out daily stuff. Anyway, that is the end of the build. Thank goodness, because I'm losing my voice. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all future ones. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.